Got a loaded show, but as always, we're going to start with the Cardinals. Listen, fans, I know it's been frustrating. Big names didn't want the job, last in the hiring cycle again, but this coach has a true proven winning background that works in the NFL. Cardinals are hiring Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur to be their new head coach. It's a 5-year deal, 38 years old, comes highly recommended around the league. Didn't call plays in LA, but played a vital role in the Rams' offense success the past 3 seasons. He got some work cut out for him, right? Cardinals have questions at the quarterback, coming off the worst season in franchise history, haven't made the playoffs since 2021. And Lena, by the way, no postseason wins since 2015.
Oh yes, we've been counting. And he's never been a head coach before. LaFleur has been grinding his way through the NFL ranks for the last decade and change. LaFleur has 7 years of experience in the division, of course, beating up on the Cardinals under Sean McVay. He's the 4th offensive coordinator to get hired for a head coaching job from that McVay coaching tree, and all those coaches have combined for a winning record, music to Cardinals fans' ears.
And he's been beating up on the Cardinals, right? I like the hire because LaFleur is a football sicko who has learned from some of the best offensive minds. He's earned their trust. Right-hand man to Rams head coach Sean McVay, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. He also worked for offensive guru Mike McDaniel. His brother coaches the Packers. Yes, called him plays for the Jets. Didn't work out, but that happens to a lot of coaches. But he did get the most out of young players like wideout Garrett Wilson. His first bit of NFL experience was a near impossible job, trying to keep 49er receivers happy when tight ends and running backs caught more passes than them. The year after the Rams won the Super Bowl, by the way, it was the new guy on staff, LaFleur, leading the team meetings on the offensive side, not McVay. His offense built for the players, and he'll use them in whatever way it takes to win. Listen.
It's fit to the players, whatever your players' skill sets are. That's where the offense ends up going. It's starting with the quarterback, but also the skill around it, So if it doesn't fit with players that you got, then it doesn't really matter. Hey, we're going to use Puka's big body as a fullback sometimes, which opens up the run game, which opens up the play pass and all that.
See, whatever it takes, Lena.
Absolutely.
Maybe Marvin Harrison can play some fullback.
Get a win on the books.
Our insider, Doug Franz, here, host of the Doug Franz Unplugged podcast. Dougie, when you look at the process and how long it took, what do you make of it? What do you make of everything? And then, of course, the people that did not get this job that turned away the Cardinals.
The thing I look at the most is I'm not really all that excited about it. And I think both of the points that you guys made are incredibly valid. When you look at the McVay tree, it's fantastic. You look at the winning records, and I understand your points about how much he's done with the offense. But to me, I look at it through the prism of NBA coaches and organizations. 9 teams had a coaching vacancy that could have hired LaFleur. They didn't. There were 9 coaches that had a chance to coach for the Cardinals. They didn't. I can give you 4 names that didn't even bother to interview with the Arizona Cardinals. I've got another 4 names of guys that had a first interview with the Cardinals, but then took a job as soon as they had a second interview somewhere else and didn't want to wait. And then the cherry on top, when you have the Clint Kubiak situation, Raiders versus Cardinals yesterday, and then he even says, I'm going Raiders, and now we take the last thing. I can't get excited when nobody else in the league was excited about LaFleur either.
Okay, he's exposed a lot, Lena. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, getting ghosted for upcoming second interviews, I think, said a lot about the organization's perception outside of the league. So, Doug, what are the positives for Mike LaFleur coming to Arizona, and then what does he have to look forward to that makes this a desirable job?
The weather's fantastic. So he's got that.
Come on, Doug.
Yeah, we got that. Well, let's go right to your point that you had said earlier. 208, 156, and 2 is what my math says. I don't count Raheem Morris, but everybody else that's under the McVay tree has been fantastic. The worst record is Zach Taylor, and they've got a disastrous owner, and he got them to the Super Bowl when Joe was healthy. So there's some positives there. And then especially what Liam Cohen did in 1 year, and a lot of people thought Jacksonville thought way too far outside the box going for Cohen, and that worked. And then there's just simply the point that Cam made earlier. When you look at, there's going to be Big Brother did pretty well, so obviously there's that part of the tree. There's some good things here. I just can't get excited when the NFL isn't excited, in a sense, other organizations.
So another first-time head coach for the Cardinals. You're looking back on some of their hires. The last time they didn't do that was the late, great Denny Green, and we miss him too, by the way. How much of a learning curve should LaFleur get? What should we expect here year one? You got a win prediction total for us?
I think it's going to be low because, and I don't think you're in the business of making win predictions.
No.
So we'll say
it's way. Last season was not great.
we'll stay away from that.
Yeah.
It's a great question, but you have to answer the Kyler question first. If he is still on the roster coming up in day 5 of the new league year, now he's got $13 million guaranteed, not for this year, for 2027. So you've really got to make a tough decision very, very soon.
Doug, do you think they went into this not knowing that? I have a hard time believing, really, because I have a hard time believing that they were trying to sell another coach on what to do with Kyler Murray. I just figured they have to know whether, one, they're keeping him or one, they're getting rid of him when they were doing
Well, he is under contract, so he will be here unless they make a trade, right?
No, or they just cut him.
Or they just cut it, yeah.
Because if you're so scared
You
to the
have to
point that
know.
I made, they know.
So you're telling me going in this process, they have not decided yet what to do with
I
Kyler?
guarantee you they've had the conversation, and that's the negative situation about where we're at.
We don't know.
And what I mean by that is if you're the head coach, you're either stuck with Kyler for a year, or you're going to keep Kyler Murray, or you're going to cut him now, and then you're not going to get Mendoza. He's a Raider. And then are you going to reach for Simpson? Are you going to trade back? Do you like Carson Beck in the 3rd round? Like, what are you going to do for your quarterback of the future? So you're taking a job with an owner with one of the worst reputations in the league, with the most unsettled quarterback situation in the league. It is the toughest job in the NFL right now, because if you don't do it in 3 years, you're fired unless your name is Steve Wilkes, and then you get 16 games.
Well, maybe he'll have the Jordan Ott effect, where all the cards are stacked against him coming in
Yes.
for the first
I think
job,
some
and then he
Cardinal fans
surprises everybody.
are hoping for that, right? Like,
Sure.
he's that much of a football nerd, he'll have the same effect that Jordan Ott is having on the Suns.
I would say no. And the reason why I would say that is you have a track history of an owner that doesn't go out there and stretch to be able to fix enough holes fast enough.
Well, see?
Yeah.
The Kyler situation, yeah, that's got to be.
It's an
almost like-
anvil on the head of a pigeon.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Yes.
That's
Well,
got to be the first.
Doug will be
Poor
here to
pigeon.
break it all down for us, of course. 12